Romania's constitutional court is upholding the first round of the presidential elections, meaning the Romanian TikTok messiah Georgescu from the far right is going to be heading off in the election against Elena Lesconi from the Save Romania Union, a center-right liberal political party with the Renew group in the European Parliament. Unfortunately, the polling for the next round of the presidential election is not looking good for Lesconi, and this just re-emphasizes the need for the pro-democratic and pro-European parties to pool all of their resources together in backing her candidacy. Immediately after the first round of the presidential elections, we had the parliamentary elections for the lower house in Romania, and we see again the center parties are getting battered and beaten. The PSD from the Social Democrats and the PNL from the European People's Party, the parties of government, continue to be battered in the polls, dropping huge chunks of their vote, and all of it going right there to the AUR, the most organized far-right party in Romania. But that is not the whole picture, because their 18% misses the fact that multiple far-right parties are gaining in Romania, and they have about 1 in 3 of every vote in the parliamentary election. Which brings us back to independent far-right candidate for the presidency, Georgescu, who is a longtime fellow of the AUR and was one of its most extremist members. This is a man who believes the moon landing didn't happen, or that women shouldn't have the right to vote, and that couldn't possibly lead a country. This is a man who is steeped in conspiracy theories and messianic views of himself as the savior of Romania. He's a man who's turned his 500,000 following on TikTok into a machine that allows him to be seen by millions of Romanians every single day. And that is what won him his 2 million plus votes in the first round of the presidential elections. An account boosted by thousands of fake accounts boosting his content, which allowed him to be seen by 50 million people in 1 week, something that cost him probably around 2 million euros. This is a major campaign to be doing on social media that was whipped up incredibly fast at an incredibly professional degree. But it's not all bots. It's important to understand that him artificially boosting his following has created real hardcore loyalists who deeply believe that he is indeed the savior of Romania, that he is this messianic figure, that the nonsense beliefs, this nationalism, the extreme religiosity, his views of himself and his place in destiny are actually things that are real, and they actually believe in him. And this is why it is so dangerous when we have unregulated social media platforms that allow far-right figures to balloon if they've got money and resources behind them. Which leads us to many questions on how a guy like Georgescu managed to whip up massive resources to run such a huge social media campaign out of what looks like nowhere. Because if we look at this map of the first round, he is dominating, and it will take the combined efforts of all the other parties to make sure that he does not become the president of Romania. Why is this important? Because the president of Romania has a ton of very important powers under the Romanian constitution, including nominating the prime minister, which he could just choose not to, or choose only to nominate people from his far-right political ideological view. He also has incredible authority over diplomacy, efforts with the military. He is someone who calls the current immigration to Europe an invasion, and he is a person underneath the Constitution is allowed to do certain extreme things in the situation where he, as president, determines there is an invasion. These are things we need to understand. Far-right figures want to bend and break and use every aspect, a loophole in every single one of our constitutions to do the things they want to do anyway. And when they cannot, they will just do it anyway and try and see if the establishment will stop them. This is the danger of putting these people in positions of already existing constitutional power that they can use even further than the document allows them to, because that is the kind of politics they want to push. This is a dangerous thing. Not only the misuse of power, but this is a man deeply fueled by conspiracy beliefs, who does not think women are equal to men, who has incredibly racist and anti-Semitic views. He is a man who praises modern dictators like Vladimir Putin and fascists from Romanian history responsible for the literal Holocaust. These are things we cannot avoid. And this is also, importantly, and I cannot not say this, the man believes he spoke to aliens, and you really can't be voting for a guy who thinks that earnestly, especially with all of his other views. So, Romania, just
don't vote for the fascists. It's really easy. You got a bland liberal. You can deal with that for a few years. And there's a lot more systemic problems in the political system than choosing a fascist to light it all on fire.